Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live, and we're back. We're back. Me and the Stat Man are back to preview the coming week in the Premier League, and I am really, really excited for it. So, obviously, you already heard me say the Stat Man's joining us. Stat Man Doug, how you doing, bro?
I'm fantastic. It's nice to be back doing a Premier League preview with you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh man, it has been a week, that is for sure. I travel out to go to Portland on Sunday, and I'm thinking I might I'm going to be hitting a stream before I leave for the PSG game. So it should be interesting. It should be very, very interesting to see how Portland is going to be, because I've heard mixed reviews about Portland, Oregon. Mixed reviews. So, well, Marcus, you don't get dabs. You already know the rules with the dabs, bro. We do dabs for 15 likes. So start trying to get people into the stream and get them all to like it. That's what we do. You know this. But Doug, let's go ahead. Let's jump right into this, because we've got a big match to start off the weekend. It's one that is probably going to have some top four implications if you really wanted to get into it. Spurs are at home to Arsenal. What do you got for me?
Wow, what a huge game this is. I mean, what a huge game. Obviously, Arsenal won the previous fixture by 4-2. And, you know, everyone was saying back then that this is the Arsenal that are going to, you know, do really, really well. Interestingly enough, Tottenham have lost their last two games. They've lost to Burnley and they've lost to Chelsea. And in both games, they were really, really poor. Harry Kane, very lucky to escape a ban through a headbutt aimed at Cesar Azpilicueta. But if you're looking at form for this one, obviously it goes out the window when it comes to a derby. I think everyone knows that. But Tottenham have won 5 out of the last 7 home games against Arsenal, and Mauricio Pochettino has never lost a home game against Arsenal. He's played Arsenal 5 times. He's won 3 and he's drawn 2, and he's yet to be beaten. This game is going to be very interesting. I mean, Arsenal coming off the back of a 5-1 against Bournemouth. They looked pretty impressive that day as well. So, yeah, this will be Aaron Ramsey's last North London derby before he goes to Juventus. So I expect him to start. There's a few doubts over Tottenham there, actually. Jan Vertonnen's a doubt. I think Eric Dyer is out. Dele Alli's obviously out as well. So that's going to be very interesting, because Dele Alli seems to do very well against Arsenal in these games. But I can't see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet, and I can't see Tottenham keeping a clean sheet. I think there's goals in this one, and I'm going to predict that Spurs' record run of not having a draw will come to an end. I think there's going to be goals in this one, and I'm going to go for which probably would be the best result for you guys. I'm going for Tottenham 2, Arsenal 2.
Doug, yeah, that's so funny, man, because I went back and forth on this one. I was originally going to go with the Spurs 2-1. And we even were talking just before we went live that I was thinking Spurs are going to win it. But I don't know why. I've got this weird feeling that this will end in a draw. Like, it just hit me, like, as we were going live, I was like, man, Spurs just they've got to have a draw eventually, right? Like, they can't continue this no draw run. Like, I don't see it happening. It'd be kind of crazy. Spurs fan, good to see you. And Mr. Exclusive, good to see you as well. So, I mean, I'm gonna predict. I was gonna predict 2-2, Doug, but you know what? Just to be different, I think that this will make it so it'll be interesting. I'm gonna go with a Spurs 2-1 win. I think that continuing run of no draws will happen. I do think that Harry Kane will score a goal in this match. And honestly, this should be a very fun match overall. So I can't wait to see how it's going to shake out. And believe it or not, this match is on at 5:30 in the morning here in Arizona, and I'm waking up for it because I want to watch it. So, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. But guys, you know what? You want to get your predictions read out on the show? Get them in to the live comments right now, and I will read them out for you. So, let's see here. I know I saw that Mad Marcus said 3-1 win for Spurs. Vandy Candy said Spurs 2-1. Burnley are much better defensively than Arsenal, which Dice has fit first choice lineup. So hold on. So Spurs are playing Arsenal, Vandy, just so you know. And then Matthew Fatty said Spurs will win 2-1. Kane loves a derby, so he'll get one as well as Eriksson. A lapse of concentration will see Mickey score a consolation goal for the Gunners. That's pretty good prediction. And then Spurs fan says 2-1 win for Spurs. I would expect nothing less. Mr. Exclusive said 2-1 for Arsenal. French Charlie Austin to win it. I could see that as well. I really could. I know Arsenal not shutting them down. Oh, I got you, Vandy. I got you. Okay. So, guys, again, we'll continue this on down the line, but if you want to have your predictions read out on the show, be sure to get them into the live comments and keep track of your scores. Because I'm thinking that while I'm in Portland, Doug and I might try and go live while I'm there to review this past week in the Premier League. So Spurs fan, if you're asking me, I want you guys to win. I want you guys to win because ultimately that drops more points for Arsenal and gets us right back into the top four. Just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. Especially with Kolasinac to the back line. Yeah, no, Vandy, that's a good point. Are there Spurs or yeah? And listen, a draw ultimately probably is the best overall outcome because it gets you both to drop points, and then we'd only be by the end of the weekend, barring us, winning against Southampton, we would be 3 points off you guys, which would be, kind of crazy to think about, all things considering, and then we'd be right there with Arsenal. So. That's my hope is that you guys draw, but I don't see it happening. So let's go ahead. Let's move on. Doug, Bournemouth, Manchester City. Bournemouth do not have a good record against the top six. They really don't. How do you see this match going?
I think everyone is saying that Manchester City will probably win this. Bournemouth are looking for a first league victory over Manchester City in 14 attempts. And actually, this is just really bad omens for Bournemouth. Manchester City have a 100% win record against the Cherries, scoring 24 goals and conceding just 3. And City's 7 victories is the best in Premier League history and joint best in top flight history, along with Brighton and Hove Albion against Wolverhampton Wanderers, also 7 wins out of 7. City have won all 6 of their Premier League matches on the South Coast under Pep Guardiola, with their last such defeat coming to Southampton in May 2016. And Raheem Sterling has scored in all 6 of his Premier League meetings with Bournemouth. He'd become the 4th player to score in 7 consecutively against an opponent in the competition, and the first since Romelu Lukaku in October 2016 versus West Ham United. Although, one thing for Bournemouth is that you can actually ask a trivia question for this. Lys Mousset's consolation goal at the Emirates was the 1,000th goal Arsenal have conceded in the Premier League. So, Bournemouth usually give Manchester City a hard game, but unfortunately, Bournemouth are really, really struggling at the moment. And at this moment in time, I cannot see anything other than Manchester City victory. I think Bournemouth might sneak a goal, but I just think Manchester City will be far, far too strong for them. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 to Manchester City.
And I'm actually going to go with a full-on shutout for Manchester City. So I'm going to go with them winning the match 3-0. I was thinking about going 4-0, but I think 3-0 seems like a more likely result. I mean, City have to for me as a Manchester United fan, I hate wanting City to win, but I don't want you guys winning the league, Doug. I'm sorry. I don't. So I hope the City win. I hope somehow you guys lose by the end of the weekend, even though it's not going to happen. And it's ultimately, it's down to Manchester City because and Spurs fan will agree. I mean, Spurs just aren't going to compete for trying to win the league. They're not. They had their chance and they blew it, unfortunately. So let's go ahead. Let's see what you guys have to say about this match. I would love to see what you guys have to say. So Matt Marcus did say no difference between third and fourth, so rather Arsenal lose. That was back to our last match. So the Matt Marcus did say City win 4-0. Let's see here. Matthew said 6-1 win. Aguero and Sterling both get hat-tricks. That would be very, very interesting. Spurs fan said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would do a swap deal for Ollie and Poch. Sorry, Spurs fan. Ollie's ours. You can keep Poch. We'll take our Ollie. I love that, man. I do. Let's see here. So Vandy Candy said Bournemouth never parked the bus, especially in games they should. 4-1 City. Yeah, probably. Let's see here. 30 points, 14 off. It's not impossible. Mr. Exclusive. I mean, I like the positivity. I really do, but I don't see us getting back into the league contention. It would take a miracle of Liverpool just dropping points left, right, and center. Let's see here. Anybody else? Not decided yet. Marcus winner gets another. Oh, that's talking about that. 6-0 City. Leroy Sané to score first. Another big prediction there. I like it. So you know what, Doug? I don't see any other predictions. Let's go ahead and let's move on to Brighton Huddersfield. This is an interesting battle. I will say that. How do you see it going?
A huge game. Brighton have really plummeted down the table. Ever since their last win was in the 29th of December. So that's a long time ago. Huddersfield, they actually managed to win a game. They actually managed to win a game, and they did double goals, which is absolutely incredible. Brighton are looking to avoid recording consecutive home defeats in the Premier League for the first time. This is interesting. Huddersfield Town have never scored in the Premier League in March, and they're looking for a first Premier League goal in March at the 6th attempt. So you can kind of see that this one is going to be low scoring. Brighton have won just one of their 9 Premier League matches against teams starting the day in the bottom 3, 1-1, drawn 3, lost 5. They've lost their last 3 in a row. So this makes it very, very interesting. And Steve Mooney has been involved in 4 of Huddersfield's last 5 Premier League goals, 2 goals and 2 assists. But obviously Huddersfield don't score many goals. And Huddersfield I think Huddersfield have not scored in their last 4 away from home either. Brighton were unlucky against Leicester. They created a few chances, created 2 to 3 very good chances actually, and they could have easily picked up a draw against Leicester. But they're back in front of their home crowd at the Amex. I fully expect, but this is going to be a very, very tight one. But I can't see anything other than a Brighton home win to relieve some of the pressure on Chris Hughton, which I don't think he is under pressure, but they obviously do want to stay in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a very tight one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 Brighton.
So, I'm sorry. I literally, as you said that, I was reading Matthew's comment here. He said at the end of the calendar year, Huddersfield had forwards so prolific that their top scorer at the time had a grand total of 0 goals. So, that's pretty funny. But, I mean, Doug, you bring up the point of, Brighton have not lost back-to-back home matches. I knew that. And then Huddersfield realistically are lucky to have beaten Wolves. I mean, I shouldn't say that because they did play well in that match. And at the end of the day, Huddersfield probably will get relegated. I mean, it's nothing's guaranteed at this point, but they are pretty far back there, guys. I highly, highly doubt we will see them make a comeback up that far that they won't get relegated. They'll probably, in a sense, get relegated with dignity, as they would say. But I'm going to go with a 1-0 Brighton win. 1-0 Brighton win. I get that both teams are crap, but ultimately Brighton is less crap, and they'll probably not get relegated. Probably. You never know, it can happen, but they will probably not get relegated. So, guys, if you want to have your score prediction read out, be sure to get it in. Let's see here. So we've got Mad Marcus said 1-1. Both teams are shite. Yeah, that's very true, Mr. Marcus. Spurs fan said 0-0. And then I also saw them say, who cares about Brighton and Huddersfield? I mean, other than their fans, probably not many people. Probably not. Just saying. 1-0 to Brighton, said Matt McFadden. Mr. Scooter said 2-1 to Brighton. An American saying shite is too good. Matthew, I knew you'd like that. Jack Coleman, go with the big prediction. Go with a 4-3. 4-3. I highly doubt we'll see that many goals in this match for two teams that really struggle to score goals. But you know what, Jack, if you get that right, I will send you a T-shirt. I will send you a T-shirt, sir. So let's hope that they do get it right, just for your sake. But let's go ahead.
That would deserve a wee shout as well if he got that right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4-3. That would be amazing.
That would be a hell of a game. But so Doug, let's go ahead, move on. Burnley, Crystal Palace. I really think Crystal Palace are going to want to get back onto some winning form. Burnley are actually on some decent form. How do you see this match going?
Yeah, like you say, I mean, both of these sides lost midweek after being on very, very good runs. I mean, Burnley's lost surprisingly to Newcastle. I didn't expect them to lose to Newcastle, and then obviously Crystal Palace losing to you guys. But I mean, Selhurst Park's a really, really tricky place to go to as well. But yeah, do you know what? Crystal Palace, they've been very, very good lately. I think they're better away from home than they are at home. I don't know. To me, they're a wee bit more attacking, I think, away from home than they are at Selhurst Park. Obviously, their last away match was 4-1 against Leicester City, which obviously culminated in Claude Puel's sacking, which we will come to speak about Leicester. But Crystal Palace were fantastic against Leicester. A very good attacking performance, and then your man Batshuayi, he scored the first for Palace. But no, it was a very good attacking display because Crystal Palace obviously they ran out 4-1 winners in the end. Could have been a lot more as well, and obviously Zaha got 2 that day, and obviously Batshuayi, he scored as well, and also Milivojevic from the penalty spot. So they've got some really good players. Burnley are very, very good at home as well. Their last game they beat Tottenham by 2-1, and that was thoroughly deserved. quite interesting that Ashley Barnes was watched by the Austrian manager against Tottenham. Now, I didn't know he was Austrian, so it must be something to do with grandparents or something.
Maybe.
So that would be very, very interesting. But this one, it's really hard to go against Burnley at Turf Moor, but because it's Crystal Palace, I just think that Crystal Palace will have far too much for Burnley, and I'm actually going to go for a very surprise result here. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Crystal Palace.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that's actually a surprise result because, like you said, Doug, I mean, Crystal Palace do play better away from home than they do at home. Don't get me wrong, going to Burnley is not an easy task for any team. I mean, Burnley typically do play very well at home. But I'm going to say that Crystal Palace will continue their good run of form. I think the Crystal Palace will wind up winning this match. I think that it's going. In fact, I think it's going to be a 2-1 Crystal Palace win. I was thinking about going with a draw originally because it's two teams that probably ultimately a fair result for the both of them would be a draw. But I look at the overall of everything. I think that Crystal Palace, I think Batshuayi will probably have a goal. I'm just making that prediction now. And we'll see from there on. I think that we'll see Zaha probably have a pretty decent game. I mean, he did have a decent game against Manchester United. It wasn't a great game by any means, but he was not bad either. So
I actually thought your defence were actually pretty dogged against Zaha. Stopped him playing. I thought so. I mean, Zaha. He's been in and out of form, but he seems to be coming back into it now. And if he can continue the way he did against Leicester, then I would probably expect him to score as well.
And I think that Zaha could be somebody that he could decide how this match will go, depending on how he plays. So let's go ahead. Let's see what you guys have to say. So Mad Marcus said Palace 2-1. Spurs fans said 3-2 Burnley. Vandy Candy said 2-1 Burnley. Palace will get barned and wooded by their big man. I like that. Jack Coleman said Burnley win 2-0. This week will produce the most amount of hat tricks in a single game week in Premier League history. Chris Wood, hat-trick, a 3-2 win. That's a big prediction, Mr. McFadden. That is a big prediction. I like it. Let's see here. I think Palace will win 2-0 as I'm expecting a response from Palace due to the midweek defeat. And Alex, I do agree with you on that. I like Burnley proper route on football with two forwards assisting each other. It's not a bad thought. Dyche seems like the manager who can get combat that big win hangover from the win against Tottenham. Okay, I get what you're saying, Matthew. Okay, so basically you're saying that he can stop the team from having a big game hangover. Mr. Fatty, yes, we do love a bold prediction on this show. We do love a bold prediction. Jeffrey Schultz hat-trick incoming. All right, so Doug, let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next match. It's one that I'm gonna, not talk too much about because Mr. McFadden and then our other special guest, the one and only Craig Perota, are gonna be on for our Manchester United preview here in about an hour and a half. So should be a good one. So be sure to tune into that as well. But Doug, United, Southampton. It's going to be a good match, I think. I think it's going to be a scrappy one, too. How do you see it going?
Well, Southampton have drawn their last 2 league matches against Manchester United. They haven't avoided defeat in 3 consecutive fixtures against United since May 1989. So there is a lot of that was a long time ago. James Ward-Prowse has scored 4 Premier League goals this season. He's never scored more in a single campaign in the competition. And Romelu Lukaku has been involved in 9 goals in his last 10 Premier League appearances against Southampton, 7 goals, 2 assists. Though both his goals against Saints for Manchester United have been scored away from home, so obviously this is going to be a very interesting one. Manchester United is a very, very hard place to go to Selhurst Park and get a result. Obviously, the big news coming into this match, though, Antonio Valencia will not be offered a new contract by Manchester United. So I can imagine that people will be pretty happy at that news.
Yeah.
I actually think that looking at this game, it is Old Trafford. I know Southampton got a very good win the other night against Fulham that took them out of the bottom 3 and replaced them with Cardiff City. So, there's going to be a few twists and turns, but by then as well. So, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I think this is one game that Southampton can kind of tick off and, say that this isn't going to define their season. It's mostly games against the teams in and around them that's going to define their season. I don't think away against Manchester United is going to define their season. So that's saying, apparently I hear that Marcus Rashford is back. He is likely to start at the weekend. So because of
Thank God.
I think United will be far, far too strong. And I'm going to go for a 3-0 home victory for Manchester United.
Man, you're more confident than I am, Doug. I still look at all the injuries we got, man, and it makes me nervous. It really does. And I ultimately think that this match will be very reminiscent of the Burnley match. I said it in the Talking Manchester United podcast that Matthew, myself, and Paul and Ash all did. It's going to be scrappy. I think that Southampton are really going to want to, avoid losing any points. I mean, they are really and truly in a relegation battle, and they're a team that they've been up for quite a while. So I don't think they're going to want to go down. So we're going to see extra fight from them. They've got some decent talent. And it'll be interesting to see how this match will play out, because I think that Southampton will be very scrappy with us. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 Manchester United victory, Doug. I look at the overall of it, and like I said, because I think that Southampton are really going to get down and dirty, I think that that's going to lead to us playing with a bit more caution. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to be the team that's not attacking. I think that we will be attacking like we always have against teams like Southampton. But at the same time, I think that this match will be an interesting one for what we will get out of it. And you guys will see what I'm talking about in my Manchester United preview that we will do. So 2-1, let's see what you guys have to say. So Matt Marcus said 3-1 United. Vandy Candy said 2-1, tight game. Redmond is their major threat to scores and assist. Yeah, pretty much. That's true. Let's see here. So Spurs fan said, I hope you guys lose, but I think it'll be 2-0. Mr. Exclusive said 3-1 United, Pogba, Rashford, and Lingard all to score. I didn't hear if Lingard was back and fit. I mean, Doug, did you hear anything about that?
Jesse Lingard?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge, no. The only one that I saw that is definitely doubtful is Anthony Martial.
I heard that Martial might be on the bench, basically.
I've not heard anything about Jesse Lingard at all, so I'm guessing that he will probably be out. But then again, I'm thinking that Ollie will want to rest him for the upcoming moonwalk dancing events next Saturday against Arsenal.
I thought it was Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
I think we play Sunday, and we're the 10:30 match here, which is basically so it's the primetime match over in the UK. I actually have to see if I can get my flight changed for next week, so that way I could hopefully be able to be here for a review with you guys, because my flight is supposed to leave out 45 minutes into the match. So we're going to see what we could do because I don't want to leave in the middle of the match. I'm sorry. I just don't. At work, if you're watching, yeah, you heard me right. I don't want to leave during the match. So I think you will understand. Let's see here. Matthew said 2-1 United. Let's see here. Matthew, I did think you went with a 2-0, or it was either 2-0 or 1-0 yesterday. So Alex said, I'm going to go 2-0, a 2-0 win with Rashford and Pogba to score. Martial is unlikely to start the game because of what happened to Lingard against Liverpool. Yeah, I agree with that. Jack said 2-0 United. So, I mean, if Martial and Lingard are on the bench, it will be interesting to see what will happen because I think that we should avoid throwing them on, and we should really, if we're going to throw them on, maybe get them on for like the last 10 minutes, just to maybe get them a little bit of match fitness going into our match against Arsenal on the weekend. I mean, realistically, we don't need them for PSG. I think that we're going to see a very unique lineup against PSG. But yeah. It will be interesting to see how things will work out for this entire week. But Doug, let's go ahead. Let's move on from this one. Let's go to Wolves against Cardiff. And this is going to be a tough one because the Wolves do tend to play worse off against teams like Cardiff. I mean, we saw it this last week against Huddersfield. But I think that Wolves are going to look to bounce back from their loss. How do you see it going?
Well, it wasn't a very good week for Cardiff City. You know, they lost 5-1 to Watford. They lost 5-1 to Watford, and then they lose 3-0 to Everton. So that's 8 goals conceded in 2 games and only 1 scored. It's interesting that obviously people will look at this one and think, oh, it's a banker Wolves win. But in fact, Wolves have lost 5 of their last 7 league matches against the Bluebirds. And then they lost the reverse fixture at the Cardiff City Stadium in November. But Wolves have not lost consecutive matches in all competitions since November 2018 when they were defeated by Huddersfield and Cardiff. So it's quite interesting that Wolves have not beaten any of the promoted teams this season. Now, which really does surprise me a little bit. But that run has to come to an end eventually. And actually, Cardiff manager Neil Warner's only previous top-flight league visit to Wolves came in September 2011 as Queen's Park Rangers, and they won 3-0 that day as well. So, again, not going to be many goals. Cardiff scrapping it out for their lives in this league. I'm going to go for a Wolves win, and I'm going to go for another 1-0. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game, and I think Cardiff will make it very, very difficult for Wolves. But I think Wolves' class in the end will come through, and I think they will win by a 1-0.
And Doug, you bring up something that I was thinking about, and it's the fact that Wolves have not beaten anybody. It reminds me of Manchester United. Ooh, yeah, Matthew, that was a pretty good goal from Josh Boy. So our U23 team just went up 1-0 against Norwich. Little curler off the right foot that went out just outside the keeper's reach to the opposite side. Good goal. I hope you guys are watching it. But is Cardiff still in the Premier League? Jay Hart, which, by the way, Jay Hart, I'm sorry you didn't get the notification. But I do think that this will be a tough match for Wolves. I think that they need to get out of their own head against these lesser teams. But I think that something like a 3-1 or 2-1 or something like that. I just think that's very unlikely where Wolves will go out there and smash them. I just think that we're going to see something where I think we're going to see a defensive match. I really do. I think that Wolves will be lucky to get a 1-0. And maybe if like Cardiff try and go all out towards the end, maybe they'll get like a 2-0 or a 2-1. But I don't see it going very easy for Wolves. And we really do need to win one of these matches against one of the lesser teams. So let's see what you guys have to say about this match. Which Alex said, I agree with you, Andrew. We should use Lingard and Martial in the same way we use Rashi against Palace, which, yeah, I completely agree with you, Alex. So Vandy said, Wolves 3-0 should smash them good, which, Vandy, you're right. They should smash them. But I don't see it happening, unfortunately. So Spurs fan went with a 1-1. Let's see here. So Alex said Wolves to win 3-1. They will be desperate to bounce back from their loss against Huddersfield Town. Plus, they don't lose back-to-back games. Which, Alex, that's a fantastic point there. Let's see here, Matthews. So Jack, I'm pretty sure that Gomez, Chong, and Gardner. Sorry, it comes out Gardner every single time, even though I'm saying Gardner. I'm pretty sure all of them are going to be available for our match against Southampton. That's it. But that is a good question, Jack. But it looks like that's it. And in case you guys didn't already know, Arthur is already joining us. Arthur is always here. So let's go ahead. Let's move on from this one because I do not see any more predictions. And like I said, guys, I have Wolves are kind of my team that I'll root for them as long as they're not playing Manchester United because I like the way that they've come up and really played well against all the top teams. It's not like I'm actually a fan of them. It's just like, why not root for a team that's going to take out teams in the top 6 that aren't Manchester United? So Manchester United obviously need to they need to win their match against Wolves to hopefully continue a good run. But yeah, Arthur, do you want to come say hi? Hey, you want to come say hi?
That is going to be some cup tie. Wolves Manchester United.
That will be a good cup tie, and it'll also be. We have a Premier League match against them at their home at the Molineux.
April, I think. I think it's April. What did you say for Wolves Cardiff again? Sorry, I'm writing these down as we go.
Thank you, Doug. So I did say I'm going to go with a 1-0. I know I kind of went with like a few different scores that it could wind up being, but I'm going to go with it being a 1-0. But so Doug, let's go ahead. Let's move on. West Ham Newcastle. This is the last match of Saturday. And honestly, I think it should be pretty interesting. Thank you, Bubs.
Oh.
Thank you. He was, in case you guys didn't see that, he was like right here trying to kiss me while I was talking. That was pretty funny. So, West Ham, Newcastle. Doug, how do you see it going, man?
Tricky one to call. Really tricky one to call. Newcastle have won 3 in a row, which is fantastic. I think they'll be replaying Fabian Schär's goal against Burnley for a big centre back. I don't think he's going to score a better goal than the one he scored against Burnley. It was 35 yards out, smashed right into the top corner, hit the post on its way in. Fantastic strike. In fact, Rafa Benitez has won more Premier League matches against the Hammers than he has versus any other opponent. He's won 11 games against West Ham. So this is quite interesting. Actually, Newcastle got a very good record against West Ham at the London Stadium, but obviously West Ham won the reverse fixture by 3-0, which I think was dubbed the Felipe Anderson show that day as well. Just because it's at London Stadium, I actually think Newcastle are going to go there full of confidence. I know West Ham were on the end of a very narrow defeat to Manchester City the other night as well. I think Arnautovic might be missing as well, which is a bit of a blow as well. So, having said that, I think Newcastle are the team in form at the present moment, and I actually think that Benitez will go to the London Stadium and will get another win because I think they won 3-2 last season. I'm going to go for something similar. I'm going for a 2-1 to Newcastle.
Ooh, going with the away win. I like it. I honestly, I look at this match, Doug, and this is one where I'm going to go with the home field advantage because this is going to be a tight match. And I think ultimately, you know what? No, I'm going to go with a draw. This is going to be my first one that I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to say this is going to wind up 1-1. I think that this is going to be a very tight match. Both teams are pretty evenly matched if you look across the board. I know that, so Jack, you were bringing up the fact that Felipe Anderson and Almiron have too much sauce, as you would say. But, I mean, you're not wrong. They do have really good players, but, I mean, Newcastle do play well against teams mid-table. So it will be interesting to see what will happen in this match. But I'm going with the 1-1 between both teams, and it will likely be a fair result for both teams as well. So let's see what you guys have to say about this match. So Jay Hart said West Ham should be able to win it 2-0. Don't see a lot of threats from Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle don't necessarily have a lot of threats, but at the same time, Rondon is a pretty decent threat. And then I think that they've also got other people in their team that can just contribute where needed, including he who must not be named. But we, like I said, we out here in 2019, guys. We do what we do. Let's see here. So Alex said that I think it will be a tight game and a 1-1 may be a good shout. Newcastle looked good the other night, and West Ham were lucky not to get a draw against Manchester City. We're unlucky. We're unlucky not to get a draw against Manchester City. Sorry, guys. So Spurs fans said West Ham 4-0. Yikes. I like a big score prediction. That is a bold prediction. Almiron might get a goal this weekend, says Alex. I mean, possibly. So Vandy Candy said 1-0 West Ham. Rafa's team doesn't get smashed. That is true, Vandy. They tend to not get smashed. So by the way, guys, Mr. Exclusive is going to the game tomorrow, if I'm understanding correctly. So congratulations, Mr. Exclusive. Excited for you, man. Is Longstaff any good? Newcastle fans have been asking for him to be in the England squad, or are they just deluded? So, Jack, I am just now starting to hear about Longstaff, and I'm actually hearing that he is being compared to Michael Carrick, which, if that is the case, that is a hell of a comparison, which also means that he will likely be left out of any England squad for quite a while, because that's just what they did to Michael Carrick. So why wouldn't they do it to somebody else that's just like him? Not that I'm bitter or anything for Michael Carrick, but it is what it is. Let's see here. I don't see anybody else. So let's go ahead. Let's move on to our Sunday matches. First up, we have Watford against Leicester. Doug, how do you see it going, man?
Mixed week for Watford. Obviously, 5-1 against Cardiff, and then they go to Anfield and get beat 5-0, which they actually do not like playing Liverpool at Anfield well, especially Javi Garcia. Actually, his last 2 trips, he's conceded 10 goals against Liverpool. This is a game where it's a baptism of fire for new Leicester manager Brendan Rodgers. Obviously, going back to one of his former clubs. In fact, Brendan Rodgers has failed to win his first league match in charge of the previous 4 teams he's managed in English football. So, if you're thinking of that, so that's Swansea, that's Liverpool, that's Watford, and that's Reading. So, that's not a very good record. Look, Leicester, they had to get rid of Claude Puel. They just had to. Just something wasn't right. I think if you look at the Crystal Palace game, I think fans were leaving early. I think after the third goal, there was a mass exodus after that game. So yeah, something wasn't right. So Claude Puel is obviously gone. Brendan Rodgers has come in. I'm quite surprised actually that Leicester managed to get this quickly over the line. But obviously, good luck to Brendan Rodgers. Jamie Vardy has scored the first Premier League goal under Leicester's last 3 permanent managers, Claudio Ranieri, Craig Shakespeare and Claude Puel. And he also found the net in Mike Stoll's match in caretaker charge against Brighton. So I would probably expect him to score for Leicester at Watford. Leicester, obviously, 2-1 win over Brighton, obviously losing 4-1 to Crystal Palace. Both teams will be looking for a reaction because, obviously, Leicester away from home are pretty poor. Obviously, their last away game was 3-1. So, I'm going to be a bit bold here. I think there'll be goals. And the fact that Rodgers still hasn't won his first Premier League game in the previous 4 attempts that he's managed, obviously, the teams he's managed, I think there will be goals. And I'm going to go for Watford 3, Leicester 3. 3-3, I reckon.
Oof. That's a big scoreline, Doug. I like that. You know what? I mean, so Doug, for me, I look at this match and I look at what's going on this year in the Premier League after teams fire their manager. Typically, what has happened this year is that the new manager has come in and they have won their first match. Typically. So, I am predicting that Leicester will win this match 2-1. I think that Leicester coming in, Brendan Rodgers coming to take over. I think that we're going to see a different team. I think that we will see Leicester try to be more attacking in this match. And I think that Watford are definitely going to look to respond after a big win. But at the same time, this match for Leicester is like, it's going to be everything because they need to react to this. So Leicester gonna win 2-1. That's my prediction. So let's see what you guys have to say about this match. So Spurs fan said Watford 1, Leicester 0. Originally they put 8, and I was like, woof, you just predicted all the goals then. So Alex brought up an interesting point. So he said Longstaff could have been an ice hockey player if he didn't choose football as a career. That's interesting. Longstaff could have been a porn star name with a porn star with such a name. Yeah, Matthew, that's very true as well. Very, very true. Jay Hart said Watford goes more up and down than a yo-yo. I still take the home advantage 2-1 Watford. No, not a bad prediction, Jay Hart. Mr. McFadden said Leicester to win 9-0, Rodgers to get a hat trick, and I think and I shall be happy, a happy boy seeing the bitter green bastards. I'm not gonna do that one, Matthew. Let's see here. I hate to say it, but England are producing some absolute gems right now, like Rashford, Sterling, Sancho, Hudson, Odoi, Foden. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jack, you bring up some good points. England are getting a lot of good youth right now. Savannah Candy said 2-2 draw. Too much firepower on both sides. But Mr. McFadden did say, in all seriousness, it'll be a 3-0 win for Leicester. Maguire with a goal, and Vardy will get 2. Yeah, probably. So Alex did say, I'll go with a 1-1. Leicester will show improvement with a new manager at the helm, and Watford are a hard team to beat at home. Not a bad thought. What happened to Ranieri? I mean, Spurs fan, I do agree with you to an extent. What happened to Ranieri is the biggest backstabbing in English football. Talking about him getting sacked from Leicester. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, he's now showing, like, with Fulham that, like, I mean, I get that Fulham are just coming up. Like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Spurs fans, so Leicester did get a new manager. Leicester did get another new manager. Brendan Rodgers has come in to take over. Oh, wait, it will be 2-1 to Leicester. Didn't realize it was Watford. Okay, Matthew, that's okay. Let's see here. Anybody else? I do not see anyone else. So, Doug, let's move on. Fulham, Chelsea. Chelsea are going to smash Fulham. That's my prediction. How do you see it going?
I mean, Fulham are in complete disarray. This is the second time that they have sacked two managers in this season. Actually, previous season was 2013-2014. They had three managers, and obviously they've got Scott Parker as caretaker manager. Not the best of starts, let's put it that way. I think the last team you want to face is Chelsea. I mean, Fulham lost all 9 of their Premier League London derbies this season and could become the first team in top flight history to lose 10 such matches in a single campaign. Oh, geez. Fulham's Andre Schürrle scored a hat-trick the last time the Cottagers hosted Chelsea in the Premier League, helping the Blues to a 3-1 victory in March 2014. But I've obviously Fulham want an up point. Chelsea have lost their last 3 Premier League away matches by an aggregate score of 0-12. They lost the last 4 in a row on the road in December 2000, a run of 5. So that's quite interesting. Keppagate.
Keppagate.
I've not actually asked you about this, Andrew. What did you make of Kepa?
I'm going to put it lightly, Doug. Fuck that guy. So there you go.
Well, that is harsh but true. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe what had happened. That was just horrendous. But you have to say something that it does question Maurizio Sarri's management. It feels like he's lost the dressing room at Chelsea. And to me, I know they beat Tottenham, which was a very good result. They played really, really well that day. But it does feel like it is only a matter of when, not if, Maurizio Sarri leaves Chelsea. And I actually said on the football show on Wednesday that had Chelsea lost to Tottenham, I think Sarri may have walked, because I don't think he's got the full backing of the Chelsea board, and I think Roma are trying to get him out of there anyway. I believe that Roma are wanting Maurizio Sarri to be their next manager, which obviously is a return to Italy. Fulham are now in complete disarray, like I said. I think they will be the first team to lose 10 top flight London derbies in Premier League history. This could be any score. It could be any score. I'm going to go for a 3-0 to Chelsea because Fulham cannot keep a clean sheet to save themselves, and they concede far too many goals. And I hate to say it, but they're as good as gone for me as well. I think Huddersfield and Fulham are as good as gone. And then it's that third spot that you have to say that it's a toss of a coin right now. I could not pick that third team to go down, but I would say Huddersfield and Fulham are both relegated.
And it's unfortunate because I wanted Fulham to come up and succeed, especially considering the fact that they kind of, in a sense, you put the quotes around it, came in with intent. They came in, they spent money, and they did everything they could to basically make themselves a good team. But at the end of the day, they may have done too many changes to the team because you make that many changes and just you don't know how the chemistry is going to work out. I mean, Jean-Michel Sarri, he's a good player. But just Chelsea are going to be too much for these guys, man. And I think that you may see Fulham come out of this with a goal. I'm going to go with 3-1 for Chelsea.
Okay.
I don't think Chelsea will lose this by any means, but let me tell you what, if they do, Sarri should just walk right there. It's like being real. Like he should just walk away. And I think that either way, he's walking away at the end of the year because of the transfer ban. That's got nothing to do with him. I think he'll just walk away because he's like, you know what? I came in here expecting to be able to get backed, and you guys have done nothing to help me. So let's go ahead. Yeah. Let's see what you guys have to say about this match. So Jay Hart said another 5-1 win to Chelsea with Willie sticking. Jay Hart, we're not going to finish that statement there. So Matthew Vadigan said 1-0 to Chelsea. I know he originally said 1-0 Fulham, which I would have liked that. I would have liked that cheeky bet from Matthew right there. So Vandy Candy said 2-1 Chelsea. They still have issues with passing around aimlessly against teams who just sit deep. Yeah, that's fair, Vandy. That's fair.
Yeah.
So Matthew said, "I'm going to go for 1-0 Chelsea." Parker is a smart boy. He'll know not to ignore his defense. But Chelsea, despite them being poor, won't slip up. Yeah, probably not, Matthew. So Alex said, "Oh, so hold on. If it's in Fulham, I agree with Matthew. Remember, they almost drew against Spurs. So Spurs fan, yeah, it is at Fulham. So Spurs fans going 1-0 Fulham. By the way, I like that. I like a bold prediction. So Alex said 3-0 to Chelsea. As Fulham are a shambles and leak too many goals. Also, Chelsea will go into the game high on confidence after the Spurs win. Hazard and Higuain will both be on the score sheet. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, obviously, and most people are agreeing right now. Kepa should never, ever play a game for Chelsea again, and I 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean he got fined 1 week's wages. He got off very lightly for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. That's without question. But so Doug, we got one more match to talk about. It's a rivalry matchup for you guys. Everton, Liverpool. Everton obviously are struggling, but they do tend to turn up in this match, and especially in the home fixture. How do you see it going?
Well, this will be the 200th top flight meeting between Everton and Liverpool, becoming only the second fixture to have been played that many times in the top English league after Aston Villa versus Everton. There's been 202 games in the top flight between Aston Villa and Everton. Everton are winless in their last 18 encounters with Liverpool across all competitions, drawn 9, lost 9, their longest winless run against the Reds. Despite remaining unbeaten in their last 16 league meetings with the Toffees, Liverpool are looking to do the double over Everton for just the third time in the last 8 seasons, also in 2011, 2012 and 2016, 2017. And Salah has scored 49 goals in 64 Premier League matches for the Reds. If he scores this weekend, he will reach 50 for one club quicker than any other player in the competition's history. Everton really needs to get back to winning ways, and they did that against Cardiff. Gylfi Sigurdsson is now the highest scoring Icelandic midfielder in the Premier League. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Everton lost the last derby in absolutely crazy circumstances. If Pickford hadn't, let that ball, it was going out for a corner. So there was no guarantees of us scoring from that. But to be honest with you, I always worry about going to Goodison because, like you said, they always get up for these kind of games. But having said that, their home form is really a bit up and down at this moment in time, and obviously Liverpool are they're obviously still a point ahead, but this is the big one. If they're top after this weekend, then that's a big statement. I have to say that I think Liverpool will go to Everton and probably attack. I think Everton will want to catch them on the counter, but I just can't see Everton. There's not much consistency in Everton at this moment in time, and it will only heap the pressure on Marco Silva because. Let's be honest, Everton really need to finish in the top 10 because I think finishing in the bottom 10 is really a poor season as far as they are concerned. And
for Everton's sake, at the very least.
Yeah, doesn't get any better because they're basically their 4 next home games are as follows: Everton against Liverpool, Everton against Chelsea, Everton against Arsenal, Everton against Manchester United. Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Oh, Jesus.
So I think Liverpool will get the victory. I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Liverpool.
So, Doug, I'm actually going to make a bit of it's not a bold prediction because I think that Everton, like I said, they will get up for this match because they also know what's at stake. They know that they need to cause you guys to drop points. And I think that they will do everything in their power to make sure that you guys do not win this match. I think it's not necessarily about them winning. They're making sure that you don't win. So I am going to predict that we are going to see a draw in this match. I think that this match will come out 0-0. I think there will be no goals. I think that Liverpool, after a midweek smashing of a team, they will probably have a bit of like that riding high syndrome coming into a match like this. And Liverpool, realistically, probably don't really consider Everton rivals. I mean, like Doug said, they have not lost to them in 18 straight matches. That's not really a rivalry. A rivalry is Manchester United, Liverpool. A rival is Manchester United, Arsenal. And Manchester is Liverpool, Manchester United. Those are Liverpool, Manchester City. Those are rivalries. Those are rivalries. A rivalry isn't where a team can't beat another team in 18 straight matches. But Everton will be up for this match, and a 0-0 is what I am predicting. So let's go ahead. Let's see where you guys go with this. I think that will be interesting because I also know we have a lot of Manchester United fans in here. So, so Jay Hart said Everton. Hold on. So George Kyle, first of all, George Kyle is joining us. Everton know what's at stake. Everton win. Liverpool title bus loses its wheels. So Everton to slip it in 1-0. Liverpool is too nervous about the title race and forgets that this is a derby. Not a bad thought. Pickford is a rubbish keeper. Decent reactions, but always has a howler in him. Overrated because of a good World Cup. That's a good point, Matthew. So Alex said, I'm hoping for an Everton win as a Manchester United fan and hope they will use their home field advantage to great effect. They will not want to lose to Liverpool again after what happened the last match. That's a good point, Alex. So Vandy Candy said Liverpool 3-1. Everton can't defend and Mane is on fire. Yeah. Both times City have been top when they won the league in 2012 and 2014. At this same stage of the season. Oh, okay. So all but one. So Alex said, I think it will be a 1-1 draw because Everton will be up for the game and will have great home support, which will boost them. That will give them a huge boost. Everton can't defend set pieces to save their lives. Van Dijk scored 2 goals their last time. Dare I say it? Matthew, no, Matthew, you bad Matthew. Matthew.
Yes, Matthew. Yes, man.
For Everton, this is a cup final. Yeah, this is a cup final for them, basically. Alex said, I'm sorry, Jay Hart, I'm sorry. So Pickford will want to put in a good performance to make up for his howler at Anfield. Yeah, probably. Spurs fan said 2-0 Liverpool. And I do not see any other scores. So, Doug, we're finished up, man. It's going to be an interesting week in the Premier League. We've got a couple of, at the very least, decent matches in Liverpool and Everton and Spurs and Arsenal. Those are 2 pretty damn good matches, and I'm always excited to watch a Manchester United match. So, guys, thanks for joining us today. Fantastic stream. You're going to be back live here in about an hour, a little less than an hour now. Doug, my guy, the stat man, he gave you all the stats, guys. Drop a like just for him dropping the stats on our butts. Just you got to drop them. You got to drop the likes. But Doug, thanks for joining me, man. Anything you want to shout out?
If you want more stats, then follow my Twitter. Or we're actually doing a poll on our Sam Radio page to find our logo. So if everyone wants to go to the TFS Sam Radio, the football show page, then that would be fantastic. And then obviously pick your favourite from the 5 logos that we have put on there. So absolute pleasure to do another Premier League preview. I know it's been a while, but always good fun, always good debates, and like you say, bring out the stats for everyone. But no, and actually keep following Andrew, because you're not that far away from 500 subs now on your YouTube. So no, thanks again for doing another Premier League preview with me, and always a pleasure.
And Doug, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on the show all the time and just dropping knowledge for us. So I'm excited to see how this week is going to go, and I really hope that you all can join us for when we do the review, because I think that this review is going to be fun, because I think this Premier League week is going to be fun. So be sure to join us again live here in about 50 minutes. Going to do Manchester United, Southampton. Craig, Matthew, myself, we're going to be on the show. So come back and join us in about 50 minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, just genuinely thank you for joining me. And I really do hope that you all have a great night, a great day, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. Keep doing you, because I love you guys and you guys are awesome. Have a great night.